Welcome, third graders, to the Seneca County Museum. I'm Teresa Sullivan, and my friend Seneca Sue has just arrived.
Hi, Teresa.
Hi, Sue.
I'm sure you third graders know that everything and everybody has its own story to tell. Hidden in this big word history are two smaller words. It sometimes can read, "Hi, story," and that's really what history is about. It can uncover our stories, the who, what, where, when, and why of people and places from Seneca County's past. And that information helps us to understand and appreciate what it took to make our city and county the great place that we live in today. And a museum, like ours, is a special place dedicated to learning about those stories. Please come in. For our very first story today, let's learn about a very special little friend of Seneca County Museum. A couple of years ago, when you were just little ducklings yourselves, a little duckling became the official mascot of our museum. His name is Ducky McQuacker, and he got his name in a contest won by a student from New Riggle Elementary School. What makes Ducky so unique, which is a fancy word for special, is that he was born not with 2 legs, but 4 legs. He lived for only a few days on his farm not far from Tiffin, but he has been preserved to allow many students and their families to see him over the years. Of course, you need to come to the museum to see the actual little duckling, and we hope you will visit him when we reopen the museum in the coming months. This is our logo of Ducky McQuacker. Notice his 4 little legs. Ducky loves to give tours of the museum and tell the stories of the people and things that we see along the way. Today, Ducky wants you to meet Mr. Resin Sean. He was the youngest of 9 children in his family, and his father served in the Army under George Washington in our War of Independence. Mr. Sean came to Tiffin when he was 21 years old, just 15 years after the very first pioneers arrived here, and he opened a store with his brother. He later became a banker and bought and sold many homes. Mr. Sean eventually became Tiffin's first millionaire. Come with me to learn more about his home. He built this house in 1853, over 170 years ago, after he married his wife Elvira. Mr. Sean's painting hangs over the fireplace in this formal drawing room of his home, now our museum. Drawing room is simply a fancy word for living room. He had quite a beard, didn't he? Everything in this room is exactly the same as when he and his wife decorated it. They traveled to New York to buy all the beautiful Victorian-style furniture, which was carved to look like the furniture of the kings and queens of England and France. They had it shipped to Tiffin by boat along the Hudson River, and then by the Mad River Railroad, right to the train depot just a few blocks away. The drawing room also has this large marble fireplace, which originally heated the home. 3 very valuable artistic paintings hang on the walls. This very ornate, a fancy word for fancy, chandelier with gold accents is in the center of the room. Originally, they would have used candles for light, and full-length mirrors on each end of the room allow for plenty of light. Iron fretwork completes the elegance, another fancy word for fancy, all around the edges of the ceiling. And there is a piano for musical entertainment in the evenings. The original flowered carpet has been replaced with the exact same pattern and was custom made in England. Mr. and Mrs. Sean certainly lived in a very beautifully decorated home. After Mr. Sean's wife died, he married Della Watson, and they lived here for many years until Mr. Sean's death at age 76. His home was passed down through the family and finally given to Seneca County in 1941, almost 80 years ago, to be used as a museum for all citizens to enjoy. A very important building in Tiffin was rebuilt by Mr. Sean's second wife, Della, and named after him. It was called the Sean Hotel. I'll bet some of you know where this building is located. It's the very large one on opposite corner of the Courthouse Square, across the street from Bailiwick's coffee shop. The Sean was the best hotel in the area. It had comfortable rooms, served fine meals, and held elegant, that fancy word for fancy again, dances in the ballroom on the 3rd floor. Over the last 100 years, it has seen many changes and has just been renamed, from Elmwood Assisted Living at the Sean to its brand new name, The Sean by Elmwood. It's almost back to its original name. There's another story about the huge fire that almost destroyed the Sean building in the middle of the night and how it got covered in ice. Something about the firefighters spraying water on the fire and the water froze because it was so cold. But that story will have to wait for another day. Ducky McQuacker hopes to visit your classrooms with some more interesting stories and fun facts from our Seneca County Museum. You never know where or when you might find Ducky. Watch for him. In the meantime, we hope you will be curious about all the stories hiding around you. Uncover the facts about them. Then you can call yourselves Seneca County Junior Historians. Hope to see you when we reopen our museum. Thanks for listening. See you later, Ducky. Thank you, Teresa.
You're welcome, Sue. I'm so glad to have you here today. And glad to have you, 3rd graders. I hope you enjoyed your virtual time at the Seneca County Museum. And we hope to see you in person soon.